Hi, this is Daniel Norton. Welcome to PTV's coverage of this afternoon's big game here at Kia Oval in London between Port Adelaide, of course, and the Western Bulldogs. It is the official challenge. It is the Elastoplast AFL European Challenge. Conditions pretty cold, very overcast, as you can probably see, around 6 or 7 degrees at the moment, and the lights are on. It gets very dark here in London, usually dark around about 5 o'clock, so it's a 3:30 start this afternoon, and the lights are well and truly taking effect at this magnificent ground this afternoon. Travis Boak will join me shortly for some special comments through the first quarter. Port Adelaide or both teams just assembling in their huddles around their 50 metres lines before the game. Each quarter, 25 minutes per quarter, and I don't think there's any time on with the quarters, so it'll be interesting to see in terms of whether the quarters are extended at all. But our understanding at the moment is there's 25-minute quarters, as I welcome Travis Boak to our coverage. Travis, conditions a little bit chilly.
Yeah, mate, it's pretty fresh. We're sitting up here. I've got a scarf on, a beanie and some gloves, and Phil just did a bit of running just before, and the ground's very nice but pretty slippery, so we might see a few boys slipping over tonight.
The mood's pretty good in the change rooms. Brad Gotch is taking the reins for most of the afternoon. I think Kenny and a few of the other boys, Alan Richardson stepping back and just observing, but Gotch is taking the reins to a certain extent. The boys seem pretty focused.
Yeah, Gotch is taking the reins tonight, and just said I think Kenny's just sitting back and just sort of watching and observing tonight. And, but yeah, the guys are pretty pumped up. Hartsy Hamish is captain this side tonight, and he's got the boys fired up, so it should be a good contest.
And Port Adelaide wearing black armbands this afternoon as well, of course, in honour of John McCarthy, who tragically passed away in September. There will be obviously an official function or memorial done for him in our round two, our first home game. But the boys have chosen to wear black armbands, which is a terrific honour as the players head to their respective positions at the moment. Port Adelaide looks like they will be kicking to the right of screen, the Western Bulldogs to the left, and the Bulldogs got a fairly strong side in as well, Travis, so some pretty experienced names in their side as well, so it's going to be a good challenge.
Yeah, there's a few experienced names. I think Sean Higgins is captain the side for them, and it'll be a good challenge. I think there's a few young guys running around as well, so it'll be good to see them have a go, and I'm looking forward to seeing Angus Humphreys and Campbell Heath and a few of the younger boys have a run around for us. So, yeah, there we go.
We're underway at the Kia Oval. Big Jared Redden's going to fly for Port Adelaide. The crowd roar. Good crowd, about 5,000. In goes Hartlett, crashes in. Umpire says there'll be a free kick. And already a Bulldogs player has copped one. That is Clay Smith, centre field. So captain of the day, Hartlett, kicks towards the 50-metre line for Port Adelaide. Good grab there by Redden. Plays on quickly. The handball to O'Shea. O'Shea runs his teammate Paul Stewart into a lot of trouble. Good tackle there by the Bulldogs. In fact, not a good tackle. The umpire said push in the back. And Paul Stewart will take the free kick around about 47, 48 metres out from goal in front of that famous gasometer there. Stewart should go the distance here, Travis?
Yeah, Stewart's probably our best kick for goal, up there with Stewart's at the club. So he's a very good kick, so I'm thinking he'll stop this one straight through.
So Paul Stewart coming in, he pushed forward to the latter stages of last year, kicked a few bags, he kicks from 48 metres, drop punt on its way, and he's just hooked it, striving for the extra distance. So the first score of the game in this European Challenge game, Port Adelaide at 1 point, the Bulldogs yet to score. So the Bulldogs bring the ball out in short and finds Jordan Roughead. So Roughead still in the back pocket defensive area for his side. Kicks down centre wing to a contest. Big pack of players. Trengove gets his fist to the ball. Higgins tried to shark it. Well done there by Trengove. Spins out of a tackle. Almost caught. Brad Ebert's in there as well. Good tackle. Umpire says a push in the back again. He was forced to the ground. And Brad Ebert will take the free kick. 2 kicks from goal for the Power. He's good 70 metres out. Drop punt. Kicks towards the pocket. Paul Stewart again. He's got it. No. Goes through his hands. And there will be a boundary throw in. So Paul Stewart seems to be the target.
Yeah, he's got his hands on the ball a couple of times there, and it's a good start by the boys, couple inside 50s, and it's a small ground, so I think it's important to get the ball out of the middle early.
Boundary throw in. Western Bulldogs player wins it down in big red path. Umpire says there's a free kick there to the Bulldogs as well. Aaron Young will have to give the football over, and the Bulldogs will run it out. So Mitch Wallace squares it out towards the scoreboard there that reads Port Adelaide 1 point, the Bulldogs yet to score. Well done by the Bulldogs, running the ball out. A good tackle, though, by Port Adelaide, hemming them in. And there'll be a boundary throw in front of that rowdy crowd. A few of the locals getting stuck into it, Bokey. They love their footy.
Yeah, they do love it over here. I think they're having a few beers, so there'll be a bit of both going on. And a few of us warming up, got a bit of display. So
think the boundary umpire copped it as well. Hartlett's got it down to Wallace. Wallace jams it forward. Inside 50 now for the Bulldogs. Port Adelaide have got to try and get back on the footy. Bounces every which way. Good tackle there by big Bobby Carlisle. The crowd ask holding the ball. Umpire says pushing the back. And the Bulldogs will take a free kick 40 metres out directly in front. So 3 pushing the backs early, Travis. Obviously the players have got to get used to that.
Yeah, I think the umpires have got the whistle out early, but I think the guys will be a bit rusty and so it might be a bit clumsy early, but they'll get into it.
So the big fella for the Bulldogs, can't pick him up from here, but he looks like he's a likely type. He's going to kick from around about 40 metres as about 8 Bulldogs players warm up in front of me. Drop punt on its way from 45, and that goal umpire has not moved a muscle. The crowd like it, and a good start there by the Bulldogs. They get there first, the Western Bulldogs, 1 straight goal, 6. Kick there by the big fella in Ace Cordy, I think it was. Port Adelaide 1 point. We've played about 3.5 minutes into the first quarter, and the Bulldogs got the early one on the board to settle, Bokey.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few nerves out there, especially the guys who haven't played a game before, and so it's good to get for the Bulldogs to get one underway, and hopefully our boys can get out of the centre area and get it back inside 50.
So the ball back in the centre. Who are you looking at in terms of some young players looking to impress today? Obviously, Jared Redden, he's got a big year in front of him. He's in the ruck at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. He had a big pre-season last year and, really come along and leaps and bounds during the season. So I think another pre-season under the belt this year will really hold him in good stead, and he'll become one of the key ruckmen in the league.
So the Bulldogs press forward again. Trengo good in the contest. The ball trickles out of bounds in front of that new grandstand there, around 40 metres out from the Western Bulldogs goal. So they lead by 5 points. About 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. We're playing 25-minute flat quarters here at Care Oval this afternoon. So the big fellas go out. The ball spills over the top of Cordy. Handballs out. The Bulldogs in their white Guernseys. Higgins, acting captain for the day, concedes a bit of ground. They fumble though, the Bulldogs. Cam O'Shea squirts it forward. Now the big fella, Lobie versus Roughhead. Who's going to win that? Shocking bounce for Lobie. Well done there by the Bulldogs, and they will relieve as they kick out towards centre wing on the outer side. Pack of players, Pittard out size, but well done. He brought the ball forward. Port Adelaide move it quickly. Hitchcock dropped what he probably should have eaten. Well done there by the Bulldogs. Handball by Liberatore. He's back. Oh, that's a very short pass there by the Western Bulldogs player, and that has gone to absolutely nobody whatsoever. And that's young Jack Hompsh, Bokey, with his first kick in a power Guernsey.
Great to see him get the ball early, mate, and he's going to be great for us down there, and probably take Chappie's role, and a young player really coming along. So really looking forward to seeing him play tonight.
He's a good size too, isn't he, Hompsh? He's come from the GWS Giants, played 9 games there last year, a former Adelaide boy, and he's really settled into the club over the last week or two.
Yeah, the boys have really got around him, and he's really enjoying it around the group, and it's great for us to get away and meet these young guys, and he's going to fit in great, and he's a great kick as well, so it'll be really good for us coming out of the back line.
And tell us about Heath Campbell, and I know Lewis Stevens is not playing today, but young Campbell?
Yeah, Campbell's going to be, I think he's another backline player from the GWS. He played about 9 or 10 games. And, is he from the GWS? I think he is, or is he the one from Sydney? Sorry.
Yeah, he's from Sydney. Yeah, no, we're all getting... See, we're getting to know our players at the moment. That's good.
We've got some young players, but yeah, Butch's great friends with him, and he's played a few games, and he's going to be another great addition for us. I saw him train the other night. He's also a great kick.
Yeah, and I think it's Campbell Heath too, so we're really starting to work our way through this. But well done. The Bulldogs in big trouble as well in the back pocket. Well done. They're going to work their way out of it over the top, trying to find some space. Port Adelaide Corallium, good tackle there by Salter. Umpire calls play on. Here's the excitement machine in Dalehouse. Has a bounce. 60 out from the Port Adelaide goals. Look at him go. He's carried it to centre wing. Nice kick. Good contest here. There's our man Campbell over the top there to Blee, and Blee handballs back to Bobby Carlisle and relieves some pressure for Port Adelaide. He finds Hompsh. He marks. Right half back for Port Adelaide. Oh, brave kick. Redden. Oh, Hitchcock spoiled him. Well done there though by Hitchy. The boys a little bit rusty early. Blee breaks a tackle. Kicks towards centre field. Daring kick. Great spoil there by the Western Bulldogs player in Christian Howard. In they crash. Good intensity at the moment. Aaron Young trying to get the football out. He's not going anywhere. Umpire says free kick, and that will go to the Bulldogs. They're playing on quickly, the Bulldogs. They pump it inside 50. Good pass. Magnificent football. And a great mark there to the Bulldogs player who takes it only about 35 metres out, and that is Liam Jones. So a good transition of the footy there, Bokey.
Yeah, I
So Liam Jones, he crosses the 50 right now, kicks from 45, looks nice off the boot. I reckon he squeezed it through, he has. That's all clear. Good start by the Bulldogs. They're 2 straight goals, 12. Port Adelaide just 1 point, 8 minutes into the first quarter, and some good movement. But yeah, like good to see the young players in Port Adelaide. Jack Homsch get his hands to the football. Obviously, we've seen Angus Monfries just trying to start to work his way into the game early. Tell us a little bit about Angus for Port Adelaide supporters.
Yeah, Angus is he's going to be great for us. I think he's coming in as a 150-game player and with a lot of experience, and he'll add a lot to our leadership group and as a leader around the club. And I think he'll play mostly wing and on ball, and somewhere he really didn't get much of a chance at this, and it'll be great for us in the midfield, and hopefully gets a bit of the ball and helps the midfield group out. Free
kick here to the Bulldogs, and Clay Smith will take it, wheels onto the left foot, awkward looking kick, pitches just in front of the big man there again for the Bulldogs, shovels it out, well done, they're going to create some space again. Oh, lazy handball, Hartlett slips over, that's no good. It is dewy out there, it is cold, I can tell you it's very cold now. Here's our man Angus Monfries, picks the ball up, centre wing for Port Adelaide, nice kick, and finds Aaron Young. So Aaron Young right half forward, kicks into space. Oh, I don't think that was intended. Angus Monfries has got it. 60 out, goes short towards the pocket. Good mark there to the player there in Eastern Wood. You were saying?
Aaron Young's been very good early. He's had a couple of hard contests and put his head over the ball, and it's really good to see from a young player.
Yes, indeed, and he broke onto the scene last year playing a handful of games for Port Adelaide as well. We're expecting some good things from him. At the moment, good things from the Bulldogs. They're moving the ball well through the midfield. There's Premi. Gives it over the top there to the young man in Pickin, normally the tagger. Goes in long, good spoil there by Pittard. Only goes as far as a nest of Bulldogs players. Good tackle. Well done, Port Adelaide. Morey did that. Andrew Moore. Trengo finds some space. Handballs to O'Shea. O'Shea out to bully, and Port Adelaide out of trouble to a certain extent at the moment. Alapete Carlisle's going to be forced back. No. Goes by, hand to O'Shea. Back to Carlisle. Can they work it through? No, they can't. They've got big problems here. They've got huge problems. And holding the ball, the Western Bulldogs will take the free kick. Centre field having trouble just working through that press at the moment.
Yeah, the Bulldogs press has been fantastic early, and credit to our defence though. They're hanging in there, and I think Jasper Pittard, it's going to be great to see him come back, and hopefully he can stay on the track. We've seen him spoil the ball 3 or 4 times early. If he can get a good run, he's going to be a great player for the club.
So boundary throw in about 50 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Cordy up against Lobie. Arms and legs going in there at the moment. It is a slippery footy. Playing with the yellow Sharon tonight, of course, gets very dark early here in London. Monfries has got it off Carlisle. Dangerous kick, shows plenty of the football to the Western Bulldogs player in Jason Johansson. Diving back in. Good stuff there by both teams. Trying to hold the ball inside the forward 50, the Bulldogs, and there'll be a bounce 45 metres out from their goal. So tell us about the oval and the conditions you trained here on Thursday. You had a bit of a run around. It's a fascinating oval, isn't it?
It's a very good deck. Very similar to Adelaide Oval because it's a cricket ground, a very short grass, and which makes it a lot slipperier than a normal football ground. But in great condition, and the Bulls will love playing out here tonight.
Meanwhile, Dalehouse goes for goal and misses what he should have kicked. He kicked that from 35 metres out. Higgins, I think, was the player that got it to him. And a disappointing miss there to the Bulldogs. Let's check that scoreboard. The Bulldogs 2-1-13, leading Port Adelaide 1 point about 12 minutes into this first quarter. So Nick Soldo, he's had a lovely kick, brings the ball out of defence. That's not so good. Pitches in front of Trengove. Trengove first to the football. Good tackle by that man, Dalehouse. Was it high? Umpire says play on. And now the umpire says, I will have it 80 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal. Nick Soldo normally is a lovely kick, and I know the club's keen to get him in defence.
Yeah, definitely. He's been struck with injury the last couple of years, but the guys love him down there because the fantastic kick really sets up our backline transition and helps midfield out.
Brett Ebert's gone long. The ball's nearly trickled all the way through, but big red and outnumbered there in the goal square by the 2 Bulldogs players, and that ball goes through for just the minor score. So Port Adelaide 2 points, the Western Bulldogs 2-1-13. Entertaining start midway through this first quarter. Plenty of rotations happening with the Bulldogs down here in front of us. The Bulldogs bring it out. Short ball. Now, Port Adelaide will try and force them down the line here, obviously. Try and kick to a contest. He takes on Hartlett, the Bulldogs player, and does it quite easily. Kicks in long. Oh, good hands there. Nicely done there by Tory Dixon. They're away, the Bulldogs, to Higgins. Higgins in short. And he finds Patrick Vespremi. He takes the mark 48 metres out, and that was good transition, Bokey.
Very good transition there by the Bulldogs. They're just looking, they're looking very good at the moment. They're a highly skilled side, and they're running in numbers there, and we just couldn't keep up with their run through the midfield.
So Vespremi, he's having a long run up. This is a cricket ground. That's Michael Holding-esque. It's a long, long run up. He's going to clear 50 now. Kicks from 49. Not a bad leg, but he's just pushed it to the far side. And Chelsea Roffey, I think that is, says that's just 1 point. And the Bulldogs move on to 2-2-14. Straight 2 goals ahead of Port Adelaide on 2 points. So there's Paul Stewart playing both ends of the ground, Bokey.
Yeah, I think you'll see that a bit tonight. I think Bobby Carlisle will head down the forward line a bit, and Nick Sodder will head down the back line and forward line. So I think they're going to try and rotate a fair bit, as there's only 5 forwards and 5 backs tonight, I think. So you'll see a fair few rotations and guys in different spots. Good
contested mark by Cam O'Shea, but he's turned it over, kicked it straight into the man of the mark. And talk about turnovers. Alapado Carlisle takes the mark there for Port Adelaide. He crosses to Homsch. Homsch gives it to Trengove. Kicks long towards the leading Hitchcock. Now he's got to try and protect the ball space and the ball drop, and he does well. Great leg too to Monfries. Look at the open forward line here for Port Adelaide. Chips over the top. Pittard, and Pittard marks it. He marks 48 metres out. Good vision there by Monfries, and that was good transition by our boys.
Yeah, a lot better movement there by the boys. I think a great switch from Bobby Carlisle, and then a great kick out from Jackson Trengove, and really good lead. Hard lead out from Cameron Hitchcock from the centre square, and found Angus Monfries in the forward line, and then spotted up Jasper Pittard, and hopefully he can slot this one through.
Not sure if his legs will carry the distance. There's a bit of breeze. I reckon he's kicking slightly into it. He kicks it easily. What am I talking about? He's kicked it from 51. He's cleared the fence. Wonderful start by Pittard. He slots through his first and the Powers first. 1-2-8 Port Adelaide trailing the Western Bulldogs 2-1-13. About 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and gee, that was a lovely leg.
Yeah, very good leg. He's a great kick, Jasper, and as I said before, it'd be great to get him back out on the park and hopefully stay injury free. It'll be a key play for our side, and hopefully that first goal now settles the boys down, and we can get it back in there and kick a few more for the quarter.
So very cold conditions if you're just tuning into our broadcast via PTV. It's Daniel Norton calling with Travis Spoke special comments, and it is cold, but things are starting to hot up on the field, that is for sure. The Bulldogs get it, centre half back, good tackle. I like that by Hartlett. Higgins is in there, his co-captain, his counterpart and captain. Well done there, beautifully done by Hartlett. Gives it over the top to Young, who Travis Spoke's been very impressed with, but he won't be impressed with that. That's gone out in the full, and the Western Bulldogs will take a relieving free kick via the agency of Jordan Roughead. So Roughead looking to switch. Obviously, will be forced down the line here, you would think. Kicks towards a big pack of players. Wallace has just come on the ground at the back of the pack. He won't get quite that far yet. Bulldogs trying to extract the footy. Our man Young's got it. Well done. Takes it 55 metres out. That's an awkward-looking kick. It's just snuck in for a minor score. And Port Adelaide move on to 1-3-9, trailing the Western Bulldogs 2-1-13. 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Youngie's been amongst it.
He has been amongst it, and as you can see, the skills have been a bit rusty early, and that's just 8 weeks off of footy, and a bit of pre-season will get him back into it.
So Pickett's going to get it here for the Bulldogs. He's got plenty of space, but closed down well by O'Shea. A little pokey chip. Oh, he slips over the Bulldogs forward. Guess who's there though? Dalehouse. Snap around the body. Rolling. The fans behind the goals like it, and so does the goal umpire. That is Dalehouse's first, I believe. The Western Bulldogs go to 3-1-19, leading Port Adelaide at 1-3-9. 8 minutes left in this first quarter, and I think it's what we expected. Quick ball movement today, because there's not going to be too much sort of tight one-on-one football.
No, there won't be too much tight one-on football. I think, as I said before, I think it's 16 aside, and there'll be a lot of open space. And it's a very small ground, pretty similar to the SCG, I think, Norts. But I think it'll be a very quick game, and I think there's a great crowd here tonight, and from each goal there's a fair roar going on, so it's good to see.
Yeah, it is. I think the supporters are split 50-50 at the moment, because when Jasper kicked that our first goal, there was quite a big roar around the Kia Oval. So the Bulldogs go again. He's going to be a cult figure. Already is Dalehouse. Great tackle though by Hartlett. Umpire says you had enough time to get rid of it, and he'll take the free kick right half back for the Power. So just steadying things down a little bit. Goes in short to Young. Now he's away. Gives it to Pittard. Pittard to Trengove in the centre of the ground. Nice vision. Oh, how about that? Trengove's improved his kicking, Bogey.
I don't know if he meant that one on. He just whacked on the boot and found Cam O'Shea on the 50.
So Cam O'Shea's got it. What's his leg like? He's going to go short, so, and it looked good. Nice little short pass there to Hitchcock. Hitchcock's still going to have to kick from around about 50 metres out in a tight angle, but we know he's a goal sneak.
He is a goal sneak, but yeah, we ride on his limit here, and you know, he's a very good kick, but yeah, it'll test him out, I reckon, this one.
So Hitchcock coming in front of that big gas station, 52 metres out, drop punt on its way. Did it exactly what Paul Stewart did earlier in the quarter. He hooked it, striving for that extra distance, and Port Adelaide move on to 1 goal 4-10, I think it is, to 2-1 to 3-1 19. Yes, it is. 9 points the margin the Bulldogs' way. So the Bulldogs bring it out, come down towards this, well, this members side, if you like. Good pack mark, terrific pack mark there by a man who I'm not overly familiar with. Sean Higgins got to bring the ball back, and number 45 not quite in our record. He certainly is. So the Bulldogs just looking for options. They'll try a switch here, and that's what Liam Jones does. Kicks back to Roughhead. Roughhead looking to free up someone now. He's got problems. Handballs into open space. Port Adelaide trying to hem him in. They did that quite easily there, and Roughhead will clear the defensive 50. Kicks towards his own forward 50. Big pack of players caught. He tries to put body pressure on. Well done though by Moore to Pittard. Pittard a little squeezy left foot kick to Redden. Redden centre half back for the power. Kicks out here towards the wing, and Brad Ebert had a terrific first year last year, Bogey.
Yeah, definitely, and it's great to get into the club, and you know, we really enjoyed it back here, and you know, it's fantastic to see him play some really good footy. He just needed opportunity, and along with Broadbent, he just kicked the ball inside 50. He had really good years last year, and really helps us out in the midfield.
He does. The Bulldogs, though, just starting to bring the ball out of defence again, and they're away. They are away. Don't worry about that. That's number 16, but it's not Ryan Griffin. Good mark there by our man in Campbell Heath, I think it was. And a nice leg too, I don't mind telling you. A left footer.
Yeah, left footer, as I said before. Very, very good kick, and he's going to slot in beautifully down there.
So Hartlett kicks to Blee, marks left half back, trying to bring the ball through the corridor. Gee, that was a nice leg too by Blee off one step. Finds Pittard. So Pittard just looking for some options. Man on man further up the field, but he finds Salter in short. So Salter.
This is good play by the boys, just holding it up and then just playing some possession footy and you know, holding onto the ball late in the quarter.
So Salter kicks wide towards half forward. Who's that? Is that Pittard again?
I think that was Benny Newton for his first run. I think you'll see him play 5 or 10 minutes tonight, and good to see him take him on.
Absolutely. It moved a little bit like Pittard on that left side. The Bulldogs bringing it out, kicking towards this grandstand side again. Oh, almost a miraculous effort there by the Bulldogs player in Zephaniah Skinner. In goes Wallace. Trengo might have been in his back. Umpire called play on. The ball appeared to be over the line, and umpire calls it. So there'll be a boundary throw in about 3.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. The Western Bulldogs leading by 9 points, 3-1-19 to 1-4-10. So boundary throw in. Cordy wins it down. Bulldogs jam it forward. Skinner all on his own. Borks this way, that way. Gives the ball by hand. Here they go again. The Bulldogs just starting to mess around with a little bit. They've got backup support though. And now Port Adelaide have got problems. Good mark. Terrific kick. And the Bulldogs player in Liam Picken marks 35 metres out in a 45-degree angle. That was a terrific mark.
It was a great mark. As you see again, there's great skills again by the Bulldogs through the middle of the ground and to find an open man inside 50, Picken, and the 45-degree angle here, 30 out, and he should sort it through.
So Picken kicking towards goal. He's pushed it out. He ain't going to kick a goal with that. In fact, that's hasn't even made the distance, and the ball will trickle out of bounds for a boundary throw in just a few metres around from the Bulldogs' goal. 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. The Bulldogs by 9 points. Been an entertaining start. Port Adelaide more scoring shots, 5 to the Bulldogs 4, but a little inaccurate. So Ebert's got it, trying to clear that defensive zone more. Geez, got beaten to the footy by the Bulldogs player Higgins on. He kicked it 15 metres. Normally better than that. Handball over the top by Homsch. Well done there to Newton. And we're away with Campbell Heath. Goes in short. Broadbent's got it. You were saying about Broadbent before, Blokey, didn't have a breakout year last year, though. It was really great to see him get some confidence.
Yeah, he did, and that's all he needed was a bit of an opportunity and a few minutes in the midfield. And he really took with both hands last year, and now really just looks a class above in the midfield. And no, it's great to see, and he'll be a great player for the club. A real Lenny Hayes type for the club, which is great.
So Campbell Heath kicked it out and found his teammate in Paul Stewart. Is that he kicks long towards centre wing. It's a long way out there, I can tell you. Might look close when you watch the vision, but from where Boke and I are sitting, it is a long, long way. The Bulldogs bring it forward inside 50. Trickles out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So only a minute and a half left in this quarter. The clock continues to run too, so the Bulldogs probably the only chance of scoring here as the quarter winds down. The ball spins back into play. Bulldogs try and jam it forward. I think that's Higgins, is it? Wrapped up in a tackle there. Skinner crashes in goes a Port Adelaide player as well. Arms and legs going everywhere. Ball in dispute. And the umpire will ball it up 30 metres out from the Bulldogs go. What's the go here with the setup here to try and... You go man on man, obviously, to try and protect the score?
Yeah, back stoppage most of the time. Most teams will go man on man and, try and watch the guys on the fly coming through. Usually the small forwards and the quick on ball is trying to get on the burst and get the ruck tap. So that's usually the go, and most sides are pretty similar.
The umpire's called a throw there to Bobby Carlo. That's a little unlucky, a little harsh, I would have thought, but umpire very officious and judged that a bit of a scoop, a bit of a throw there from Carlisle. So Patrick Vespremi, by my calculations, the quarter is over. Maybe there is time on Bokey.
Yeah, we've got 0-0-0 on the clock.
So Vespremi, we think it's quarter time, kicks from 50, and that goal umpire dances a little bit, but likes it. So Vespremi kicks another one for the Bulldogs. 4-1-25, the Doggies, leading the Power 1-4-10, 15 points the margin. We have it as quarter time. Maybe there is just a little bit of time on, so we'll just have to play it by ear, Bokey. This could lead us anywhere here. Yeah. Well, I think the boys are already blowing.
The coaches are walking down onto the ground now, so it must be nearly done. And I think Gotchi's he will just talk to the boys about the skill level and just holding onto the ball a bit more and just keeping in control and just watching the Bulldogs run through the middle.
So ball up, Lobe wins it down, but well done there by the Bulldogs who win that loose ball. Kicks in long. Bobby Carlisle with the superior strength. Got his hands to the footy. Well done there by Trengo. Put his body on the line, tapped it through for a minor score. And the Bulldogs, there is a siren. Quarter time here at the Kia Oval. And the Western Bulldogs leading 4-2-26 to Port Adelaide 1-4-10 in their Elastoplast AFL European Challenge. The goal scorer for Port Adelaide, one goal scorer, Jasper Pittard, kicking one goal. It was a lovely 52-metre kick down towards the right of screen. So quarter time, the Bulldogs leading Port Adelaide by 16 points.